Hello, welcome to the Global Psychic and Healer TV. Today we're going to receive KIRSTEN Hodgins. She's a psychic medium and a spiritual teacher. Thank you. Hi, KIRSTEN.
Hi, Karine. Great to be here. Thank you.
Very happy to have you on board. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the English name, so it's just like pronunciation challenge. Let's go to the point. I would like to know a bit more about how the psychic experience did start for you, and maybe you can tell us about how it came to at the beginning.
Sure. So I think, like many people, they have all of these experiences that they brush off as being coincidental, or they follow the comments or the wisdom of their peers, and they put a lot of things as just, oh, it's just a coincidence, or that can't be true. So a lot of things happened where I believed that it was just coincidence. So things that I could actually tap into was often when I was a childhood, I could see energy, I felt presence, things would move. I could hear people's spirits around me, but it wasn't witnessed by anyone else. So I obviously brushed it off, and it was throughout teenage, when you have the premonitions, when you have dreams that come true. So like all of us, we have people who I speak to, because I also hold a meetup where I have opened the door up for like-minded people to come in and not make this ordinary in their life anymore. And so what ends up happening, once we start thinking about, in hindsight, as to these wonderful occurrences that have happened, we all end up putting more belief and faith in that there's more truth to it. And I think along my path, what happened was the unexplainable would come true. Would basically, when I would be out with friends and I could tap into, feel their emotions. I would just be in the room and I could feel what they were truly saying, what they weren't saying. It was like reading between the lines. I would have a friend say, oh, I was driving down the highway, and they would be telling me the story, but then I would drift off and my body was saying, ooh, they're angry, they're holding on to something. And then I would just, out of the blue, when I felt safe as I got older, and I felt a little bit more confident, I started testing it. And it was just, the more it wasn't like I had to see it to believe it. It was more, I believe it, and then I see it. So it started showing up with more faith and belief in it. I didn't need to have the confidence of others and say, yeah, yes, you're true. I had to go with my own truth. So it took me on a journey to put the faith in what I experienced and not letting the outside, the people in my life or the environment, dictate what's true. So that was a huge awakening for me through about 10 years ago. So to answer the other part of your question, I went 10 years ago to a meditation retreat. It was a 10-day vow of silence. For the first time, I got to actually go internal. And through that experience, I learned that there was more to my own ego mind that knows everything and that judges things. I was able to shift for the first time, and I heard voice of wisdom. I was able to realize that I was clairvoyant, that I was in fact seeing divine, and that I had the ability, just like we all have the right, we're all born connected, we're all, what I've learned since then, we're all a child of God. And we all are born with these wonderful gifts. And it's just our life experience and our path that helps us to decide whether or not we'll open up. And we have that choice, that free will, on how we perceive life and our experiences. So I actually went down, it was a paradigm shift. I went down a completely different path of awakening and awareness. And I immediately opened up and I met all sorts of like-minded people, which I didn't have the support before. And it was just an incredible journey since then.
So when you mentioned that you did not have the support before, I wonder which kind of family, it's like you're coming from. Is there some people in your family who also have some kind of very strong impact ability?
I think what at the time was happening was they weren't completely non-believers. I just think they were very fear-based and didn't want to go there. They thought if they were to put belief into it, they would open up a whole door into something they were afraid of and didn't understand. And so I think that in a lot of cases, it was brushed off as being impossible from some, but then the ones that were saying, oh yeah, I believe in it, but let's not go there. So I shut it down out of fear. And so it took me a while to discover how I could get over those fears. And I think with a lot of the students that I help in the meetup group that I support, they come with all of the programming. And I think that for the most part, when they realize that it's fear-based reality and there's nothing to be afraid of, and that we can manage and have full control when we're empowered, we learn that. And just in life, if we're loosey-goosey with our boundaries, the way we interact with life and the people, then in the spirit world, we bring in the same mindset. And so it's also helping and support people there with their managing their energy as well as learning boundaries.
Could you share maybe some practice you have, like to face your fear or to deal with your fear?
Okay, so for instance, when I first opened up and discovered that the senses and that the things I saw, the orbs and all of the apparitions around people were actually spirits, as soon as I said and admitted, wow, I do have mediumship abilities. And then as soon as I said my curiosity, my subconsciously, I was so excited, and I was so incredibly determined to be of service, because that's another reason why I'm doing this work. That tapped in, but I wasn't in alignment with my boundaries yet, or so what my fears came up was, am I safe? I didn't want to have this gift just all of a sudden be activated in the middle of the night when I was on the way down in a dark hallway. So I really learned that no matter what I'm doing, no matter what I am, that I am safe, and it's of love and light. And I learned that through our fears, it doesn't serve us. There's absolutely, if I'm saying that I'm not safe and I'm calling for protection, I'm holding on to my rituals, then I'm basically saying I'm not safe. So I had to learn that rituals were my crutch, and I still highly believe in my tools and my rituals. And I recommend when our ego is creeping up to practice and use these tools. You know, smudge if you feel that that's going to remind you that you're a child of God and that you're of love and that you're safe. So what ended up happening as I learned that it comes from my will, it comes from my intentions, and I don't feel that I'm opening myself up or wanting to, and I have the control to be of love and to send them away with compassion. If I feel that there are spirits that want to kind of, you know, they're a bit aggressive in life and they want to message through, sometimes I just see them as being just like a human that walks in this earth as a human, no differently. Now, mind you, I've had very aggressive ones, but in life they were aggressive. So I don't come from that fear-based worry anymore. I don't feel like I need to smudge. I call on Archangel Michael, but I know that I am safe, and I just have that that practice. And I'm not saying I'm going out to work as a, what do you call it, ritual master anytime soon, because there's still ego and there's still my limitations, and I know that I have work to do in order for me to feel completely that I am love and light purely, but I'm not always there, and so. But I'm working on it.
No, I like the idea. I'm in this kind of direction. I like your position about the ritual, and that if you are really in balance and clear with yourself, ritual is just like kind of extra outside. And I wonder, it's like you seems to practice different discipline, and there's you doing guidance using different tools. Could you tell us a bit more about it?
Oh, sure. Well, I could talk about the path and how it's evolving. I started off taking all sorts of courses. I was a professional student. I would just dabble in whatever interested, whatever courses that were within a driving range or online. I read a lot of books, and what ended up happening was I would learn new tools, but I wasn't practicing them. I really have learned that the energy teaches us. The books and the rituals and watching others, it's helpful, but I learned that I needed to practice. So out of all of the energy healing modalities and the tarot cards and the angel cards and the beautiful courses that I took to be more intuitive, I realized that I had to practice. I took a tea leaf reading course 4 years ago. And I've been on this path for 10 years, but it took me, and I guess we all have our reasons why we don't jump in and do this work. I was finally ready, and I chose to do tea leaf reading. And in a way, I felt so confident behind this cup because I felt it wasn't, I was able to have it like a support. It was a tool for me to connect, even though I know we could connect directly to divine. And I realized after practicing and doing tea leaf reading parties and doing one-on-one sessions that I wasn't even looking at the cup anymore. And I realized, wow, I've got the confidence, I could let go of the cup, but I still find that tea leaf reading parties are so popular with clients. And I really enjoy also pulling out tools. I do the angel card divine, actually, whatever courses I seem to take, they start to add that to my psychic template. So sometimes in a reading, they may show me a card or a symbol from one of the tarot decks. So even though I'm not using the tarot deck, Spirit will use my template and help me to communicate. So.
Yeah, and I understand this position. You talk also, you channeling. I wonder which kind of energy are you channeling?
Okay. Well, for instance, maybe if I could just give you a bit of a story on a typical client, depending if I'm seeing them in person. I tend to wait until they arrive before because I see them one after the other. So what ends up happening is when they walk in, I could see them, and that's when I open up. I just shift into a state of allowance, openness, and I use my senses. So there's really, I'm not drawing, I've already done my prayer of protection and intention on me being of service and for it to be a blessing in all ways. I find that when I put myself with that little bit of a prayer and intention, that I have a more at ease and flow and know that it will be out of my hands. It's not my job. It'll be just divinely guided. And usually who shows up immediately would be the energy around a client, would be color. It would be an emotion that washes through me. It might be even a knowing or the essence of, I could see in their energy aura, things that they're blocked on, emotional functions of the ego that's not serving them. And when I ask, show me what I need to know that is for their highest good, it's also sometimes something that they didn't even intend to talk about, but it's most pressing, and it ends up being the huge barrier to unblock what they came for, what they thought. So sometimes what happens, and it just amazes me, I go deeper than they expected, and we do some more work function on the ego work, or energy healing is included. If I feel that they have cords of attachments, we'll draw in what I've learned through a wonderful course that I'm also a spiritual teacher student in at this time. It's actually angel communication. And my mentor, KIRSTEN here in Ontario, Canada, is just a profound psychic medium, and he's been an amazing teacher on helping me to discover how to just be and let the energy teach us and read from that. So sometimes the client might come and want to know about their career, but all of a sudden I'm being shown there's issues around the relationship and the support. And that's the big blockage that maybe the doors can open once they deal with that. So that's an example.
So which kind of angel is coming to you?
Well,
or could you choose?
Actually, I leave it up to divine, because with me, I call upon whoever I need to at the time. So when I feel and sense their presence, I'm getting familiar after the last few years as to how they feel for me and how they show up, their color. They actually, Archangel Michael sometimes comes in, for instance, he'll come in through my left, and then he'll swoop in and stand on my right. And it feels like, to me, like I want to hold my head up, put my shoulders back, and be confident in who I am in a state of high peace, but at ease. It's very interesting. And sometimes when the client has Archangel Michael with them, I may not feel the same thing, but I get a presence or a symbol. I may just see his outfit that I represent in my mind, and a lot of these representations are very common with other light workers, and sometimes I get taught who's with them because they show me symbolic. One not too long ago, there was a beautiful, elegant, light blue angel, very peaceful, and all of a sudden she swept her hands around. She was holding a moon just like this in blue. I've never seen that image before, but then all of a sudden I just described through the emotions what this energy was doing for the client. And I learned immediately it was Archangel Haniel, who I never had met before or read about. So they teach me. They teach me how, and it's funny how much in common the way I can depict it and the way I see it. Other light workers are also, I end up seeing symbols that I've been shown channeled through books. And it's just been fascinating because sometimes I wonder, should I keep studying or should I just let them show me who you are? So I kind of dabble on both sides. I read the books, but I also like for them to teach me who's with the client. And eventually I end up seeing one small piece of them and I know who it is. And so that's how I'm practicing myself in knowing who's with people. Or they come in and literally tell me. So there's the audio, there's a knowing that also comes with it. And I'll hear or feel or see what's going on in their life.
Yeah, I can get that you recognize their essence, kind of like, oh, I recognize the person.
Yes, well said.
And you mentioned about your empathic, this strong empathic ability, and I wonder on your daily life, you know, how you use it, how you put your boundary, because you mentioned the boundary challenge.
Okay, so if I understand what you're saying, how I use it for my personal growth? Wow.
Yeah, or how you stop it, because I assume that maybe this strong empathy might be challenging in some times.
Yes. Well, thank you for asking that, because at first, because I wasn't able to discern what it meant when I was just starting, my curiosity, and again, I had to learn boundaries. I was seeing energy around people and I got frustrated because I didn't know what it meant. I wasn't in the practice state of allowance because I was so hard at I need to know, or afraid that I was wrong. So there was the ego involved a lot. Since then, I have learned that if I do see something, I don't stop myself from seeing the divine in others, but I'm not peeking through windows. I'm not spying into someone's life. If I'm asked, if a friend is in grief and they say, and they know, I have come out of the closet, obviously, so my friends and family know, and they often ask me for guidance. And I tend to try to refer them to my lightworker friends, but if I'm there and I get something, by all means, I will share to the best of my ability, and usually that's when I'm asked. Or I'll ask for permission. If I do get a deceased loved one that trails in with them, if I have a friend over for tea and a loved one comes in with them, I'll ask, oh, do you want to hear from somebody? There's someone with you. And then we'll end up having a bit of a very, a nice reading. Sometimes there's tears, sometimes there's just some release and healing. And I just feel like if it's meant to come through and if it's in alignment, it'll happen, but I don't will it. I don't, it's not unsolicited. Definitely not unsolicited. And I do have the ability to turn it off. But there are strays. There's people who in the spirit world who needs to come in. Now, if there's things going on in my life and I'm being stubborn and I'm not listening, and all of a sudden I'm in a place of reflection, my spirit guides will pop in and show me a quick flash or give me a little bit of internal information as to where I'm standing. And then I'll just, oh, thank you, I needed to hear that. It's like a friend that I forget that's there every minute. And it's often when I get heavy, I feel as if our body contracts when we get into fear, worry. And that's when I'm least likely to be open energetically to hear the vibrations. And this is what we do in life. And this is why I feel a lot of clients end up getting external signs. They end up getting external signs and coincidences and what you call as synchronicities. It's a sign, and we're not all able to sit there and have an open conversation in our senses. So pay attention to those. But sometimes when you practice into into hearing, feeling, and seeing. The subtle vibration is how they communicate. It's truly a beautiful place to be. And yeah, so I forget that I always have that connection. And it's funny because I'm there for other people, but forget half the time in my life that it's there for me. So yeah, just like recently, I just had that spirit guide come in and remind me. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. It's a big shift.
That sounds nice. I wonder, I understand your energy, and I would like to know a bit more about it.
Okay, I didn't quite hear your question.
Sorry, the sound is not good sometimes. You work also with rainbow energy, and I wonder what it is.
Okay, that has blown the roof off of my limitations. I absolutely am so excited to, I'm also part of the Spiritual Teachers Program to one day share the modality. Right now I'm just practicing and I have clients, and it's just such an amazing shift for me. I love all energy healing modalities. I find that they're all bring a lot of blessings and healing and gifts. And I think we are attracted to the people who provide the service as well as the modality. And I think with rainbow energy healing, it's come at a time where I'm saying I'm not limiting myself in life. And I've decided that all that we do with our senses is when we are opening up to divine, we're opening to all that we can potentially do. That includes past lives, Akashic records, being a medium, being able to communicate with all the love and light that we choose. And I think that's co-creating with us. And I feel that when you are of that, you lift off the lid and you're able to expand your awareness, expand your consciousness. And for me, rainbow energy healing has taught me to be a witness and to allow. And so when I work with clients, it's just fascinating because I'm not playing what needs to be fixed. And I'm not asking the client what you need. I'm saying, let us have the help of divine and let's surrender and let's just be a witness to it. And it's just been such an incredible modality that there's nothing else like it, but they all have unique, special beauty to them. But for me, I'm now learning so much more. It's teaching me. The energy is teaching me about, because it's rainbow energy healing. It's like in the angelic realm. It's teaching me outside just our physical body, it's really going into realms that I've never explored before, like our idea of what life is on earth, and bringing in and drawing upon this beautiful life potential, life purpose, soul purpose. We're drawing that energy in this session to really bring it in and making big shifts so that we can reach stepping stones a lot easier in life. And I feel like issues in all of the different, we have a method where we approach the client, we ground them, just like in all other modalities. But I think in this one, it's taught me to be a witness and to really not play the role of the healer, because not that I'm trying to be the healer, but I'm trying to be a support, be a light to help support the space and to help ground that person, the client, so that we can connect together with spirit. So it's like the Holy Trinity happening in the session.
That's nice. I can feel your enthusiasm about it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wonder, you mentioned that sometimes you ground clients, right?
Pardon me?
Are you grounding client? In the example, you say, oh, sometimes clients are grounded. Were you talking about over, or were you talking about your practice?
What I mean by grounding in the RH session, I think, is what you're asking is I'm grounding us together. So we're connecting, we're merging our energy field together, but we're also merging it with divine. So we're all connecting, so we're all in that space of allowance. And I act as a witness, and I follow the flow of what's needed, and I share the messages and guidance, and we do. That's the grounding work in order for us to connect.
Nice. You also do like integrated energy healing. Is it the same kind of approach?
Well, it's actually similar because we are working with angels of the body, or energy field, and we're invoking Ariel. This is specific though. We're actually asking Ariel to come in. We're asking Archangel Michael to come in and protect. Just like in rainbow energy healing, we're asking for the founders to come in, Archangel Michael, Raziel, and Metatron. But we're opening it up to say in all beings of light. In the IT, integrated energy therapy, the difference is we are hands-on, we're using points to help to release, and then we integrate the energy from the angelic realm. So it's more methodical. Integrated energy is more methodical, where rainbow energy healing, it takes you on a journey that you have no idea. You just follow and you're guided. But there is a method for those who would like to do the method that is followed, but most often you can start that way. But divine, they're going to have a whole different agenda. You might be working on the feet, and you might even be able to, if you're highly clairvoyant and aware, you might even see the beings of divine and the energy being shifted and work on in other areas. It's like that in other modalities, but in the integrated energy therapy, you're more focused and working in a method based on each chakra, so you're less aware of what's going on all around the table and in the room. So this is what I mean about limiting myself. And I love integrated energy therapy as well, because the reason is because some people some clients really love, their belief of healing is to be touched. They haven't maybe got the understanding that working in the body or in the aura maybe not healing. So for them, they feel comforted and really put a lot of faith in being touched. So those types of clients will sign up and have those, which is lovely. And I would put my hands on them. They would feel supported. They'd feel like there was physically energy feeling. They would be more aware with my hands on them than they would be if my hands were in their aura. So that's the different type of clients that would choose.
Are you doing also distance healing?
I do distance healing, yes. For clients, that's something that's just as easily and profoundly done from my home. From even when my family members aren't well, if I'm on the train or if I'm traveling and I'm in a safe, secure place, I'll actually close my eyes and I will really connect. I will invoke the beautiful energies rainbow energy healing has to offer, and I would just sit there and I would sometimes get information, or sometimes I would just feel in their body where physically they need to have more energy and release. And then afterwards, I would either give them a phone call or I would have an email with guidance, and we could follow up if there's questions that they have on that.
Nice. You're doing also, talking about teaching. So which kind exactly of modality are you transmitting?
Okay. I started in 2012, I believe. I might be, maybe not that long, 2012. I wanted to have a like-minded group. I was really anxious to share and learn with other like-minded people. So I opened up my, first on my home so that I could have a group get together once every other week, and we could learn things about intuitive. I did psychometry for fun. We did remote viewing. The whole purpose of it was so that we could get together, we could learn it, I could share, and we could also learn to get over our fears and doubts. So it was a confidence building meetup. But then it soon began to grow into other categories. And it eventually I took it and I got a spot at a beautiful healing center. And I was able to hold bigger crowds, and it developed into function of the ego. So there ended up being two parts to the teaching. One was intuitive development and spiritual development, and then also it was self-development. So it got a little complicated because we found that there was so much to talk about, and there were so many different people that would come. And we couldn't please everybody, so we're trying to really honor the spiritual development people and the self-development people. So we've been holding different topics on different nights. We've taken a break this summer so we could get recreated. We can get creative, and we're going to start doing webinars so we can actually have people from the comfort of their own home join us. And it's a lot of fun. We do healing. I think what makes our group interesting and unique is that we have a circle where we talk about a topic, we bring it up. Then I should actually mention my co-organizer, Derek Norton, who also is very profound in this group, and he helps do energy demonstrations based on the function of the ego, and we all get to contribute. So one person, and it's amazing how you bond and how you get comfortable and you share. So people are really authentic, and I feel like when we hold that circle, we actually create a safe space for people to let go, clear, and grow, and they end up sharing, letting people tap in and give them guidance. So we all take time healing and learning how to be intuitive and build our confidence around it.
What is the key for you to develop in this kind of to develop your spirituality? Can I say, like, when you talk about spirituality, let's say, when you talk about spirituality development, what is your focus?
Myself. I focus on, what am I not seeing? How can I see in others what I don't see in me? And so I live by that. So every day I try to be, not every day, it's hard every day, but I do for the most part. I really try to live from that space. I really try to live from divine grace and to really live a place where I'm heart-centered, and that I'm not doing knee-jerk reactions from my fear. I want to come from love, and that can be challenging. So what I do for my self-development is I always start my day, I invoke my guides, archangels, Michael, and when I really, really and want to be honest and authentic with myself, I ask, show me how to be more heart-centered, show me how to clear and my programming and the things that aren't serving me or others. And I'll give you an example. I was on my way to greet some people, and I know this group, some of them are so warm, and some of them live in a bit of a internal self-serving, not there, I love them, but sometimes I'm afraid to say hello. I just want to, hi. So my fear of being rejected, so I was shown in my visual, I said, how can I be of best service today? And my guide said, be open-hearted. And I said, okay, so I'm going, I don't know what that meant. As soon as I approached this group and I went in, I was so excited to see this one lady, Mary, and I was like, how are you? How are you doing? And then I turned around and I saw somebody who I was afraid to be rejected by, and I went, hi, and I kept going. My guides came in because, remember, I asked, they said, do not withhold love. I didn't realize it. I was withholding love. How could you be open to receive love when you're not being loving yourself? That was a very profound example as to how I am trying to be a pure channel, is to recognize what I am not pure around in my life so I could recognize it in others. And I try to see that and not label them or judge them from what their ego is creating in their world. And with divine support and prayers, I ask to see that. So it's always done from a very high point of view, very broad point of view, as opposed to me going down and saying, ooh, you look at your ego. I look at what love they're withholding. I hope I'm explaining that, or articulating that enough.
Yeah, it's very clear to me, so I hope it's going to be clear for viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I would like to know if there's something that you would like to add or share with us that we haven't discussed already.
I think we kind of touched on it. What I do, I also teach angel communication, and I teach tea leaf reading for those who are in Ontario, Canada. And I will have my website, KIRSTENHODGINS.com, that posts all my upcoming workshops and promotions and things like that. But also, I just wanted to talk about this wonderful platform that you're creating. This is a very unique, because we're getting these light workers are getting healers having an opportunity to share what they do. And I've had an opportunity to listen to a few of your videos, and actually almost all of them. And I just want to be a part of all the psychic mediums and the healers out there. They're just incredible stories, and incredibly really tapping in and doing good work here. And so I just wanted to say thank you and all the best to you and Rosemary for this wonderful platform for us to collaborate and to share to the world and to whoever is open to hearing, because they can only be blessed with what's going on through your association.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very nice from you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you to have been here on the show. Thank you for sharing your heart actually with us. I can feel it. It's very like, yeah, it's very nice to be with you in your energy. It's very nice. Thank you just for your presence, and see you sometime somewhere. And thank you for everyone for watching. Thanks.
You too. Thank you very much.